guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are making a Hilltop Gothic Farmhouse in Strangerville. So I built this house kind of because I wanted to practice more with using terrain tools, and I wanted to kind of get kind of obnoxious with the terrain tools even, and just make a hilltop home. And I was actually thinking about making like a vampire hilltop, like scary Victorian, but then I ended up settling on doing something in Strangerville because I hadn't built in there before, and doing like a Gothic farmhouse style. After I built this house, I kind of sort of became obsessed with this type of home, and also Strangerville, which I paid no attention to before that. I actually think that Strangerville is beautiful now. I actually thought it was hideous when it first came out, and the storyline was fun, but I watched too many spoiler videos on the storyline in Strangerville, and so I never finished my sim that I made to like go and figure out the story of Strangerville, because I kind of already knew what was going to happen. That was my own fault. I didn't think that the spoilers would ruin it for me, but it did. And so then I kind of ignored Strangerville after that because I thought it was ugly. I didn't think the house styles were pretty, and now I'm kind of really liking Strangerville and this house style. I built another Hilltop Gothic farmhouse that is all pink. That is on my other social media, and I do believe that I have a speed build coming back up on that one as well. So I'm not quite to this terrain tools yet. I was trying to just see if I could get the house where I wanted it and where I liked it, and then I was just going to raise the foundation up and make the giant hill. So I'm kind of just waiting to do that right now. The other thing that I wanted to do in this house that I had never done before was make like a entryway with the stairs, and then being able to see up the stairs into the landing area. So I had never done that before either, and I watched some YouTube tutorials on it, and so that's what I'm working on right now. It took me a little bit to get it and to understand what I was doing, and then also trying to figure out the placement of the stairs and where I wanted them. So that's what I'm doing right now, is fiddling with that to see if I could do it. And I was really liking the way that this house was turning out. It was my first time ever building this style, and I didn't even know much about this style of house until I started researching the type of house that this is. And I actually really like the way that this turned out. So I was really happy with it, considering I am not familiar with this style at all. The one thing that I do not like are those round roofs. They drive me nuts when I'm trying to put them like on a tower. So when you pull the eaves down, you can see roof clipping through. Some of the roof patterns make it more visible than other roof patterns, and I can't remember if I was able to disguise this one, but I do like the way the tower did turn out in this build. Sometimes I end up scrapping these builds with those towers because they just don't work out the way I want. I'm hoping in The Sims 5 we can have some better round walls to build, kind of like the octagon one, but just round with a round roof. And I also hope that they fix some of the roofing glitches, like with things clipping through, and I don't know, hopefully that stuff gets figured out by the time The Sims 5 comes out, because it can make it really frustrating. And sometimes I scrap entire builds because of roofs clipping and whatnot. You know, I get so far on it and they're beautiful, but then it's like, oh, but I can't stop this roof from clipping. Sometimes you can do little tricks to get it to go away, raising, lowering the roof, or just continuously building a room until finally it disappears, which I don't get why the first 10 times you build the room it doesn't disappear, and then all of a sudden time 11 it disappears. Makes no sense, but whatever. Sometimes you can fix it. So anyway, so a couple things that are going on. COVID's still going on in the world. A couple weeks ago, I had brought it up for the first time, and I was not going to bring it up, and then I saw some other simmers were, and so then I brought it up quickly, and then I was never going to talk about it again. And then the next week came, and things are even worse, and now the next week is here, and things are even worse. So we are on lockdown in my state of Minnesota in the United States. It started off with just some businesses closing down and like curbside food service, but now we're like on full on lockdown. You can leave to get groceries, and that's really all you can do, and to go to work, of course. So things are not great around here quite yet. I'm starting to lose hope that it is going to go away anytime soon. Things just kind of seem to be getting worse. I am actually starting to wonder if my vacation in January is even, or not January, July is even going to happen at this point. There was a time when I thought this was just going to go away and everything was going to be fine. And by the time July came, it was going to be all over. And now I'm going, you know what? I don't think we're going to be going on that vacation in July. So between that and then I work in healthcare, I'm very stressed out. But the one thing that has been giving me some reprieve is Animal Crossing. So you're never going to believe this. So I've been playing Animal Crossing since it came out on the GameCube, like so long ago. And I'm 90% sure that was the first Animal Crossing. I might be wrong on that, but that's the first one I played. And I was addicted to it. And then I played it on the DS, and then I played it on the Wii. And I said last week how I had some coworkers that we used to sit and play. Like we would literally go to work all day, and then we'd be like, okay, at 7 o'clock, we're all going to log on, and we would play. And some other coworkers would hear us talking about it nonstop, and they were like, what is this game? So it was a really fun time in my life. And so when the servers got shut down on that one, and it was just kind of old, and the Wii U now was out, I had bought a Wii U specifically so that I could play Animal Crossing, and it never came out on the Wii U, and I just could not get into the DS ones. I've never been a handheld gamer. I don't like them. I don't know. I've never been a fan. So I was really sad when it didn't come out on the Wii U. So when they announced that it was actually going to come out on the Switch, I was so excited, and I'll never forget it. I was on a plane flying home from somewhere, and I had, actually, it wasn't even me. I was like reading or something, or just, I don't know what I was doing. And Brent taps me on the shoulder, and I'm all annoyed, like, what? And he had bought the internet, so he could like surf the internet. He goes, look what's trending on Twitter. And it was Animal Crossing, because they had actually confirmed, I think maybe it was at E3 or something like that this Animal Crossing was going to come out on the Switch. I was losing my shit on this plane. I could not believe it, and I had to totally contact one of my old coworkers who used to play it with me on the Wii. I literally bought the internet just so I could text him and say, did you hear that Animal Crossing is coming out on the Switch? But of course, at that time, there was no date. And I never really stay up on like video game happenings anymore. I used to get Nintendo Power. I was that dork who got Nintendo Power. And so I was very up on things back then. And now I'm not. So once in a while, I would Google like, when is Animal Crossing the Switch coming out? And no date yet. Finally, one day, March 20th, 2020 was going to be the day. I literally went to work the next day, took it off work, and I bought it the night before, downloaded it, was able to play it Friday morning. It was all I thought it could be. So this is the background on my Animal Crossing happenings. You are never going to believe what happened. So I played Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday I played most of the day, and then I had to get ready for work. I only work 3 days a week, Wednesday through Friday, and so I was getting ready for work the next day, and I'm already stressed out because of all this COVID stuff going on, and my dog was not doing well a couple weeks ago, which was happening at the same time as all this COVID stuff, so I was stressed to the max, like full on, like 10 out of 10 stressed. My only reprieve was Animal Crossing, and I was stressed that I was going to have to go to work again and be exposed to this virus, and oh my god, like what's going to happen? And I'm getting ready, and I come back to sit and play my Animal Crossing, and there was an error screen on my Switch that I have never seen before. It was black, and it said some error code, and you need to restart your device, and I was like, oh man, all the stuff that I worked for is probably not saved now. Like, I've been playing for like an hour since my last save. I turn my Switch off, turn it back on. Everything seems normal. Nintendo screen pops up. Nintendo Switch screen pops up. That's like the second screen. And it just sat there and sat there. And 5 minutes went by and it was still on this Nintendo Switch screen. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like my device is bricked. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to Google, like, what do you do when this happens? I'm sure there's a fix. And the first thing that pops up is to hold the power button and the volume buttons at the same time. And then it's going to go into like this recovery mode and whatnot. I'm thinking this is just going to happen. Everything's going to be fine. It never went into the recovery mode. I tried it a million times, turning the device out, turning it on, recharging it, doing all this stuff, going through all of these troubleshooting. I watched YouTube videos, I read tutorials on how to do this. I finally accepted that it was bricked. So my only save, I found a YouTube video that basically said that if this doesn't work for you, it's dead. It's completely dead. So it says to leave it on the Nintendo Switch screen, let it sit all night long so the battery dies, wake up the next morning, and it's either going to work or it's not going to work. And I woke up and I'm like, oh, please, please, please. So the battery did die. I stuck it on the dock, let it charge for a while, turn it on, goes to the Nintendo screen, goes to the Nintendo Switch screen, and it stays there. So turns out it was bricked. It was officially bricked. I gave up at this point. I'm like trying to call Nintendo while I'm at work, trying to see, I'm not under warranty, but is this something that we can get fixed? Well, guess what? Because of COVID, they are not really taking any repairs right now, and the turnaround time was going to be like 3 to 6 months because of all this going on and factories being shut down, and it wasn't under warranty, so it was going to cost me $150. So I just said, screw it, I'm going to go buy a new Switch. And I know that ever since the Nintendo Online thing came to be, I knew that there was a cloud. So I'm like, oh, I'll save my game. It's fine. I'm just going to go buy a Switch. Well, I go to Target. Switches are sold out. I said to the guy, I'm like, why are Switches sold out? He's like, I don't know. He's like, ever since the lockdown stuff has been happening, the video game consoles have been flying off the shelves, which I guess makes sense. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Go to Walmart, same thing. Go to bestbuy.com, they're all sold out. Well, miraculously, I finally was giving up. I was ready to cry, you guys. I was crying. I'm like, this is my one reprieve, is Animal Crossing. And The Sims kind of is a reprieve, but it's almost like a job now because I'm trying to keep up my content and stuff like that. So that was my one thing that I could just mindlessly, and The Sims just, I don't know, isn't as relaxing as Animal Crossing. So I was ready to cry. Well, the next day at work, I kept hitting refresh on the Best Buy website, and all of a sudden there was all these Best Buys that had Switches, and I'm like, oh my God. And every time I would load one in the cart and buy it, it's sold out. Load one in the cart, buy it, it was sold out. Finally, I got one about 20 minutes away from my house, and because of the whole COVID thing, it was insane. I had to buy it and pay for it. And then you had to go to Best Buy, and then you had to log on to the app, and you had to say you were here, the make and model of your car, and then they text you a code, and then a guy pulls up to your window, and you say the code, and if the code matches, they put it in the front seat of your car, and you drive away. It was I felt like I was doing a drug deal or something. So that happened. I got the Switch home. Well, now I'm loading up the Switch, and I'm Googling, how do I get the stuff off the cloud? I pay this $20 a year. I'm going to get the stuff off the cloud. Well, guess what? Animal Crossing is not up on the cloud yet. I was able to get my Mario Kart and my Zelda and my Super Mario Odyssey and even some of the NES and SNES games that I played online through the eShop or whatever. That was all on there, but not Animal Crossing, so I had to start over. But you know what? It's okay. I was so happy to just get a Switch because things are crazy right now. We can't really do anything. Can't go out to eat. Can't go out to bars. Who knows when it's going to be back up again. So my life is good again. I've got The Sims, I've got you guys, and I've got my Animal Crossing. And on top of that, I also just hit 1,000 followers on my Instagram, which I'm super excited about. Thank you to all my followers. I can't believe that people out there follow me and like me. It's just unreal, and I appreciate all of you guys and all of the Simmers in the community because you guys are all so supportive and so nice, and I love sharing this hobby that we all have in common. And then with that, I think I'm going to close out with music now. I actually don't think there's much time left, but we'll close out with a song. But if you are still watching, thanks for watching. And if you liked this video, then please leave a big thumbs up. Subscribe to me if you haven't already. Links to all my social media that you can follow me on are below. And I will see you guys again on Thursday.